Thank you for joining us today. Yesterday was a painful day in Israel. Yesterday Hamas killed Ephraim Yona Feldbaum, one of our soldiers, an Israeli-American citizen, father of 5 children. May his memory be a blessing. Yesterday we also saw a horrendous scene, something that I don't think none of us would imagine to see on a video. In this video, what we saw is Hamas terrorists throwing the body remains of a hostage out of a window. Let me repeat this. Hamas terrorists throwing the body remains of a hostage out of a window. After that, Hamas hid and buried the body remains. And then they called the Red Cross to pretend they had discovered a body. Let's see this video. I want to show you now what the Red Cross said about this horrendous scene. The Red Cross condemned it, condemned what they called the fake recovery, and the Red Cross said they attended the place at the request of Hamas in good faith. Of course, they continued saying this is unacceptable that a fake recovery was staged when so much depends on this agreement being upheld and when so many families are still anxiously awaiting news of their loved ones. This is the Red Cross. This is not the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Israel. The video that we've just seen is appalling in so many levels. First, it shows the sick mind, and there is no other way to describe it. The sick mind of Hamas terrorists. Throwing bodies out of windows and using them for their manipulations. Think what these scenes, these manipulations, these atrocities, what it does to the families of the hostages, of the deceased hostages, what they are going through, undergoing more pain, more agony. Some of these families need to reopen the grave. This is barbaric. This is something beyond words. I can't think of any human being, any decent human being who can see these pictures, see what Hamas does to the seized hostage, and come out and say, I support Hamas. If there's someone that supports these kind of scenes, something is fundamentally wrong with him. But this video proves more. It proves that Hamas constantly lies. You have it on camera. Hamas comes with this excuse that they don't know where the deceased hostage are, and you have it on camera, and we know it, and we said it, that they do know. They do know. Is this time they were caught. And the other thing that this video proves, and again this is a point Israel is saying time and again, that Hamas violates time and again, constantly, the ceasefire agreement. Hamas has an obligation under the agreement to return the bodies of the hostages, but it refused to do so, even though they know exactly where the bodies are. And as I said at the beginning, this wasn't the only violation of Hamas yesterday. Hamas opened fire against our soldiers. They killed one of our soldiers. Since the beginning of the ceasefire, Hamas has violated the agreement hundreds of times. Yesterday was just another example of these violations. Israel will not stand by while being attacked. Israel will continue to uphold the ceasefire agreement and will respond firmly to any violation of this agreement. Thank you. I will now take questions. Yes, please. You want to read?
I think I don't need the microphone. I'm embarrassed enough. How Israel sure that Hamas violated this ceasefire and soldier was not killed by rebel gangs in Gaza? That's one. And does the ceasefire agreement allow for such a heavy-handed response? This goes far beyond responding to the limited threat. Please, no comment.
Thank you. We know for a fact that Hamas is violating the agreement. We know for a fact that Hamas is opening fire on our soldiers, not for... I remind you, they already did so. And we know for a fact that Hamas is violating the agreement also in terms of the body returns. So yes, the answer is very clear. Hamas is responsible for the fire. Hamas is responsible for the violation. And in terms of the response, we said very clearly, we will respond to any violation. We will respond to those violations firmly, and this is what we did. And as of 10 a.m. today, Israel said that Israel will continue to uphold the ceasefire. I want to be very clear. Israel is committed to the ceasefire. Israel is committed to the Trump plan. The only problem is that Hamas is not committed. The only problem is that Hamas is violating the ceasefire, shooting at us, doing those terrible, barbaric, sadistic maneuvers with bodies of the hostages. And Hamas is doing so because it does not want to see the Trump plan advance. Because part of the Trump plan idea, and it's part of its main elements, is that Hamas will be disarmed. So Hamas is trying to do everything possible to avoid this.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Marie Finoshina, RT International. Oren, the IDF says that it targeted Hamas terror infrastructure in Gaza during its strikes. Now we hear from Gaza's health ministry, and these are the latest numbers, that around 100 Palestinians were killed in these strikes, including children. My question is, what was the concrete goals of these strikes, and was it achieved? And in your view, was the response proportionate? And do you have any specific information on who exactly was killed? Thank you.
Thank you. I think your question might be more accurate if you would start it. Now we hear from Hamas health authorities, because Gaza health authorities are Hamas health authorities, and those are notorious for their lies. We've seen time and again that you cannot trust any number, any information coming out of Gaza. You see that supposedly decent, neutral information that has to do with the return of bodies of hostages was manipulated. So we know for a fact that they are manipulating everything possible, and sometimes they are also being caught for that. Secondly, the IDF operates and direct its fire aims only at terrorists. When it comes to the urban situation in Gaza, what is often the case is a syndrome that we all know all too well, which is called human shields. Hamas is using the population, exploiting the civilian population, and locating itself within civilian facilities. So this is part of the situation in Gaza. And Hamas is torturing the civilian population in Gaza not only by its location. They are doing so also directly. And I'm referring to executions that are being held in daylight in the streets of Gaza. Hamas terrorists are shooting people in the head, and no one says anything. And it's okay. So this is attests to the nature of Hamas and the way they conduct themselves, not only towards Israelis, but to civilians in Gaza itself. Thank you.
Was the goal achieved?
Sorry?
Was the goal achieved?
I can check with the IDF about the what they call BDA, the bomb damage assessment, and we can get back to you about the details of this. Yes, please.
Joe Floater from the BBC. How much coordination was there with the United States before these strikes were launched, and were they happy with the assessment of the collateral damage, given that a lot of people died?
Right. So I can refer to the coordination bit of your questions regarding the happiness, I think it's best to ask the Americans themselves how they feel. But yes, there was coordination. There was the Americans were informed about this activity, about this operation, and again,
Informed beforehand?
I would refer you to the Prime Minister's office regarding the exact sequence of the events, but I can tell you surely that they were informed. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, thank you. You have another one? It's okay. You're good?
Is Israel taking her own decision in these cases, or only a green light?
A very clear answer, and I think the Prime Minister referred to it. Israel is a sovereign country, and this is the most important thing that you need to keep in mind in this regard. Of course, we enjoy the closest relationship with our closest friend, which is the Americans, and this will continue to be the case. Thank you.